Greetings, mortals. Welcome back to Fallen New Vegas.
So when last we left off, we had managed to actually take out the assassins reasonably early in the stream. And then they promptly respawned and I was made sad. We then were able to do some other stuff, and yada yada yada. So we've been wandering around trying to figure out what to do. And we are on our way to level 8. We managed to get ourselves trapped in a car. But did manage to get out of that situation using the power of teleportation, which is great. We need to find some electronic parts. That's what we need for this thing. I can remember what I'm doing. And I could go back through here to get them, but I don't think I want to bother with that. I think I'm going to instead first head over to Nipton, because there was that guy's house that was full of, like, robots. And by that I mean there's one robot, and there was the implication that there might be another one involved somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And he might not have ever built it. Unclear. So we'll go to that guy's house and try to pick up some electronic parts. This stream is already off the rails. I was intending to go... Oh my god. What? Why are you alive again?
Ready to die for your country?
No, I'm not. Why are you alive? Didn't I beat you up? Didn't I guess someone could have fixed it. I mean, it's just a robot. Oh boy. Okay, so... Scrap metal, flamer fuel, energy cells. None of those are things that I needed. Machete... Lock safe. Wrench, hammer, scrap metal. I'm looking for a thing called scrap electronics. And like, if anybody's gonna have scrap electronics, it's this guy, right? Drinking glass. How is a robot like a writing desk? A drinking glass or whatever that was. Let's see here. And, yeah, pressure cooker. I don't see what I'm looking for here. 2 scrap metal, some duct tape. Did I just beat this thing up for no experience and no electronics? I don't know what this mainframe connection thing is all about. I assume at some point I'll be... given some information about it. Okay, so... Excuse me. All of our limbs are in good shape. We're actually very tired. So what I'm going to do... What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pop up to the Good Spring source. We're going to drink some water. We're then going to pop up further north and go thinger. We can go take a nap. Pigeon. Let's see. Travel to Good Spring. Yeah. Let's see. Go in here? Question mark. Do I need anything from here? I don't think so. I don't think I need any... I don't think I'm going to find any scrap electronics in this town. Would be my guess. There's not a huge amount of electronics here. And... I need to sleep for... I'm going to go ahead and sleep for 3 hours and see if that does me good. Is that sufficient for my sleep needs? It is. So I'm going to check 2 hours next. I was under the impression that I needed 4 hours for about 200, but I'm clearly getting zeroed out by much less sleep than that. I do not need to sleep at all, basically. Sleep? Why would I need sleep? I don't need any of that business. Crazy? I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Alright. We are going to go over Corn Ranch, I think. Yeah. So we have been here already, I think. And let's see here. What do we need to use? Let's take a look at our food situation. Excuse me. This food situation is a sizable one. I'm going to eat some. I'm gonna eat some nuts. Because who doesn't love eating nuts? Alright, we've got the farmhouse here. Anything interesting going on here? This is not one of the trapped places, as far as I can tell. Energy cells and a stealth boy. Let's take that. Tumblers today. Tumblers today's. Oh, that's got to be the lockpicking thing, right? This is a lockpicking book. Okay. Well, I'm glad I came in here. I thought that I had already been in here, so I was tempted to just not even bother, but we just got +4 lockpicking skill. That gets us a large portion of the direction of the distance that we need to get to where we're going. So, we have an armor locker, Merc Cruiser outfit, and leather armor. What am I wearing right now? I'm wearing my leather armor. I need to be careful about that, because while I'm wandering around, I do need to consider wearing Legion colors, just because they are more likely to try to spawn and just try to murder me. I do also need to be concerned about like NCR people seeing me while I'm wearing those. So we just got some scrap electronics. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting to get those here. Okay, do we want to resolve the situation now? I think we should, yeah. Special knife on the stove. Who is that? Alright. Left then right. Those. We're talking about the cleaver? Or is it underneath the pot? Oh, it's a chopper, not a cleaver. So, so it's like some sort of special thingamabobber. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. For whatever reason, I read it as cleaver. So I'm just like, okay, there's just a random cleaver. And I think I automatically swapped the two words in my head just because reasons. So I don't need 2 varmint rifles. I can actually just drop one of them down. And let's take a look at what this does. It's called a chopper, so it should be at the beginning. Very cool. Cool. Thanks for the heads up. If I miss like some random object in here, you know, feel free to tell me. I do generally prefer to avoid spoilers in the sense of things that like are in the future or locations to go. But if I'm in some random location like this and I miss something cool, just it's totally fine. Just tell me. I'm on board with that. There's some corn there. Oh, right. So I don't think I want to wait until I get the full repair skill. I do think that I'm going to go over to Prim and turn this in now, because otherwise I'm going to forget, as we've established in the past. And I think that like waiting until I have 65 repair is silly when I have a workaround. So okay, so it would be kind of cool if I could repair it with only some of the parts, if I had some of the repair skill that I needed, but you're pretty high. Hey. Oh! Companion protocol? What does this do? Okay, so I don't think... Is this a robot that I can bring around with me? This is like a... Is this a companion? I was thinking this was like a plot thing. Oh my goodness, this is like a companion. I've never had a companion in one of these games. Interesting. So what do I want to give to you? Give me my metal booking card. I'm not going to bring this thing on into fights, because having a robot with a gun with me is extremely overpowered. That's just like that's an unacceptable advantage to have. Okay, and because I initiated the wait protocol, they're just going to chill here. So will they just continue to chill here? Cool. That's pretty interesting. So I might allow myself to actually... Oh, I'm too close to an enemy right now. Who's down there? I don't remember there being soldiers here. Oh no, I guess they're just the ones that are over there. Okay. Let's see here. So we can pop back to the Wolfhorn Ranch if we want. We've used so much of our water already. Jeez. Just fast traveling a couple of times. Rough. Do I want to... I could travel up here again to get that done, get my water reset, but I'm not going to bother. It's fine. I have plenty of water on me. And doing the water up top would actually make my life a little harder because I would get less... whoa! Who dis? Alright, we are going, because we're heading toward a thinger, I'm gonna equip my Centurion armor. And my hope is that equipping this stuff is... Whoa, shit. I thought that this little thing was a Skaven or something. I'm like, oh my god! It's a humanoid rat! When did humanoid rats become a Fallout thing? Okay, we got some corn. I'm actually gonna eat some of this corn. What language is Maize? It doesn't seem Spanish. So is that actually from, like, is that an iteration of the original name from the Central Americans? I think corn is Central American. Whoa. Let's change my finger a bit. So unfortunately, I did change my stuff so that my lighting is a little balanced out. Basically, my face was looking even whiter than it usually does. The issue with that is that I look kind of like Commander Shepard after being a little too evil right now, but that's fine. I'm slightly transparent. It's no big deal. So that's some Legion folks. We don't need to go after them right now. They're not important. That actually might be the assassins. Is this... Which direction am I going? So, according to the thinger, I'm supposed to go there, but I don't actually give a shit what it says. I'm gonna go over this town, I think. Do I want to try to go over to this town over here? That is a Legion base, it looks like. I wonder if I could go over to this Legion base and just chill with them. Yeah, is it an Aztec word? what is the language of the Aztec called? Is it just called Aztec? Let it all end. No, don't do that. Don't let it end. You must be victorious. Hello, friends. So, Legion Raid Camp. Powder Ganger. So these are...
Our way, true to Kaiser.
Did the Powder Ganger say that, or the Recruit? Huh. Y'all don't mind if I just steal some of your shit, do you? Interestingly enough, the answer is no. Hey, Scrap Electronics! So, recruit to Canis. So there's a couple of recruits here. And then an unnamed recruit.
True to Kaiser.
Sure, why not?
We kill only those who resist the will of Kaiser. The rest are kept as tribute.
That's not accurate. We've already established that that is inaccurate. Because the people in the previous place, large portion of the people who were crucified were actually... Excuse you? Look, it's kind of hard to hold my tongue. I can't fit my hands in my mouth right now. Like, what the hell? Like, this is unacceptable. Okay, so these guys are not attacking me. I don't feel any particular need to fight them right now. I will probably come back and take them out later if someone gives me some reason to do so. But for now, I am happy to dodge the assassins. Oh wait, is this the quest location? Oh! Oh! Never mind, somebody already did give me a quest to kill all these people. Okay. Okay, so we have, it looks like, a group of 4 here. No, we've got 5 enemies here. 2 of them are asleep over here. I was wondering why all these things didn't count as stealing. Oh, these do. So, I can basically punch this guy in the butt if I want. The issue right now is
Our way, true to Kaiser.
I have a issue with... By the way, I find it... What the hell was that noise? That was terrifying. Okay. One thing that's kind of interesting is that these guys call this guy Kaiser, and it's like the year 2500 or something, and all of the books in the world have basically been burned, and there's like no media available for anything. Why does anyone mispronounce Kaiser's name as Caesar? Would people actually be still making the connection to Caesar? Right? Like, would anyone know who Caesar is outside of, like, certain specific history nerds? Like, it's just kind of an interesting thing to think about. Also, is Caesar actually pronounced Kaiser? Because Kaiser is a German word, right? Which means, I think, emperor. So is Caesar actually pronounced Kaiser? Or Kaiser? I would have to look that up. I'm actually tempted. I'm gonna look that up. I am gonna look that up because in Latin it's pronounced Kaiser. Is it Kaiser or Kaisar? Because that's super interesting. I have this thing where I try to undo a little bit of my... I don't know about my ancestors, but you know, I'm Irish. My ancestors weren't the Imperials, okay? Like, the imperialism was done to us, not, you know, by us. But like the sort of English-speaking world's tendency to just take names and then just pretend that they're not names and then just rename things. I really don't like that. And if Kaiser is the correct word, I would rather just say Kaiser or Kaiser or whichever it is, and just train myself to use that, because like whenever it comes to like any other foreign names, right? I do that, and sometimes I have a tendency to let like the sort of European cultures sit by with me not correcting for, you know, the language use, but I should be more consistent with it and try to pronounce things correctly. Because, you know, obviously the English-speaking world never conquered Rome, to my knowledge. Though, in one of my Crusader Kings runs, the Norse, who of course are responsible for the English-speaking world, the Norse actually did sack Rome. I did actually take Rome as the Vikings in one of my runs, and that was a lot of fun. Okay, so I just found some sort of object there. Was that for my main story quest? Is that what that was? The animals, they're evil. They tried to eat me in my sleep. They want the farm for themselves. Now that Mom and Dad are gone, they want the farm for themselves. They're plotting against me, plotting to eat me. They're becoming ghouls like my parents, and they want to eat me like my parents did. Too many of them to kill them all. I know what I'll do. I'll burn the house down around me, then the animals can't eat me because there will be nothing left for them to eat. Not entirely true. Your bone marrow will probably survive. The animals do not appear to be crazy. That does appear to be that this guy went crazy. It is entirely possible that his parents did in fact turn into ghouls and try to eat him. That's actually totally believable in Fallout. So, like, to be clear, I'm not going to just say that he's totally nuts in general and that he killed his parents, but I will say he might have killed his parents because he's paranoid, or his parents might have tried to kill him, and as a response, he went off the deep end and thought everyone was going to kill him, which is a reasonable response to having your parents try to eat you. Took a chance today and left the animals alone to go look for Mom and Dad. I found them in a camp. They'd become horrible feral ghouls. I didn't know what to do. They came at me so fast. Oh God, what have I done? There you go. Nailed it. Okay, so also, he didn't come and attack the animals. Oh no, he's malnourished. We need a farmer over here. Let's see. Scrap electronics and wonder glue. Scrap metal. Let's see. Paperweight. Metal box. Scrap electronics. Okay. These poor, Quittas. How do I feed you? Why are you malnourished? Why are they still, like, hanging out in these pens? These are not proper pens. If they were malnourished, you'd think they'd just wander off. It's not exactly easy to keep herd animals from wandering off. Like, it is, like, a whole job. Okay. I was listening to the sound pattern of the hoofs to make sure that that was actually the animals on the inside. I hate being all alone. I want my mom and dad back, but I can't have them back because I killed them. I didn't want to kill them, but I had to kill them. Otherwise, they would have eaten me. I hope the animals don't eat me. Can animals become ghouls? Probably. Right? Like, oh, Wasteland Survival Guide. Nice. So that is another one of these things. Did I miss some caps over there? I'll grab them. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, on the crate, yeah. There we go. Good call. I looked at that, and I didn't actually see the caps that were in between the two bottles there. So... And I was specifically looking for them, I just, I'm kind of dope. Because usually when you see a thing like that, there are caps around them. So presumably there's going to be more of these journal entries. I'm going to keep looking for more of the journal entries. Okay, that's unusual. I would say that's highly unusual. There's a lot of skulls here. Mommy and Daddy might have been cannibals before they decided to eat their son. Not gonna lie. So, here are the graves for Mommy and Daddy. And my guess is that I missed a piece of paper on the ground somewhere, because most of the pieces of paper on the ground are not interactable, and my eyes just glanced over it. I don't think I can get up there. So I've checked this. There was a thing there. There was a thing there. There was a thing here. But I have number 4, which indicates that there should be another piece of paper around here somewhere. And my guess is it wouldn't be attached to one of these structures, because it would be a little weird for such simple structures to have 2 pieces of paper in them. I guess I could see 2 pieces of paper being in the house proper. I could see it being just in the field. We're actually getting a lot more books now. I was a little concerned because early on I didn't feel like we were getting very many books. And so I was like, I'm a little concerned that it was wasteful of me to get the book thing instead of getting the leveling thing. And I think that's, like, from a statistical perspective, or well, from a mathematical perspective, I think that it's probably would have been superior to take the... This house burned down. There's no way there's a piece of paper in here. Let's see here. Like, a piece of paper from before it's burned down. This rock looks like a chest or something. I guess the first one could be over where he found his parents. Where did he find his parents? And how did his parents become ghouls? I feel like his parents probably already were ghouls. Like, I don't feel like you go straight from human to feral ghoul. I feel like feral ghoul is a status effect that happens to... I didn't feel like I could loot the graves, though. I could check the graves. But yeah, that's a good point, but I didn't feel like I could loot those. Which was strange, because I could loot the other ones. Oh, no, I just didn't get close enough, apparently. This is a burial mound, and this is a grave. I don't necessarily feel curious enough to start grave robbing. But why not? Oh, you need a shovel. Oh, brass knuckles. Alright, I'll take brass knuckles. Alright, so I don't think brass knuckles are useful for me, though. They can't be used to repair any of my stuff, so... Like, brass knuckles would be very useful if I was allowing myself to equip them. At some point, I might allow myself to equip them if I feel like my damage isn't scaling enough to accomplish my objectives. I also might eventually decide that... No, I don't think I'm going to decide that. I think the boxing gloves meet the purposes that I need, because the boxing gloves, unfortunately, I don't think they scale. So I guess at some point, the boxing gloves will fail to knock anything unconscious in a timely manner. This town is radioactive, so I actually don't want to go in there. And there's actually an NCR base right there, so I'm going to save. And I am going to swap to my leather armor. Now, I need to save before I do that because, like, Legion assassins can just pop out of nowhere, and I would prefer to not get jumped by a squad of Legion assassins. So, who is this? There's a single hostile over. Yeah, see, this is why I wanted to get a mod to disable the compass. It's too powerful. The compass is just too strong. Alright, well, I'm no longer disguised as a member of the Legion. There's a quartet of people over there. Looks like that's... I would assume that that's, like, the boundary of where the rads are. Where are the hostiles? It's probably ghouls in there. Weirdly enough, I got the and not a drop to drink. So Silver Sting is something that I now have enough to make. Now, Silver Sting is something that I'm not sure if I'm going to allow myself to use. So I think that that's... Let me take a look at my weapons. Is that a mod for a weapon? No, it's not. So how do I apply you? Can this only be applied to... I'm going to take a look at the brass knuckles. No, can't be applied to that. Can't be applied to that. I'm going to probably have to reload here, because I'm probably just going to drink this. Do you want to poison the boxing gloves? Interesting. Okay, so there you go. I don't... Trying to use the poison in your inventory does, in fact, apply it. It doesn't, like, have you drink it, which was my concern. So, food is okay, drink is not, so let's just go ahead and drink some purified water. We really have plenty of it right now. And we have a NCR base here. So what do we want to do? I think that we could go back to that farmhouse and look to see if there's a shovel. And that's fine. We could go to that Legion base and try to take that stronghold out. I was kind of hoping that I'd find something to repair my boxing gloves with before I have to go after an entire squad of Legion. But we might not be able to accomplish that. Give me 1 second to take a look at my map. So this is the raided farmstead. So we don't want to go back there because that is a terrifying location with explosives for days. So now that we're further away from the NCR thing, we are going to equip our thinger again. I don't want those Legion assassins coming after me. I don't want them spawning in the first place because they'll go crazy and start shooting a bunch of things that I don't want killed by them. Either things that I want to kill myself or things that I just don't want dead at all. So we'll have to deal with those assassins throughout the rest of the game. Eventually, it's my guess that we will become so powerful that they will not be terribly relevant. But we will see. So, duffel bag. I'm basically just looking for a shovel. Because there has to have been a shovel here at some point if he dug a hole that requires a shovel to undig, right? Or to redig. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's still a shovel because he did burn down the house. So, and of course, somebody could have taken it in the interim as well. There's a lot of things that could have happened to that shovel. Let's see. if I had to guess, I'd say that the shovel used to be in this house. Alright. Let's see. We got... So, how do I want to handle the raid camp? I think I'm going to TP over to the Wolfhorn Ranch again. And we are going to... this is the thing. I would actually love to have just, like, a hotkey to bring up certain, like, classifications of items. Like, anything that's coded as food, for instance, would be nice to be able to just bring up on a whim. Sensor module hammer. Hey, Sunset Sarsaparilla case. That's cool. I did not loot any of that the last time I was here. So, there's a farmhouse here. I'd be kind of surprised to have shovels be a rare resource, considering that they're not that complicated to build, and people need shovels. Like, shovels are so useful. Like, there are not a lot of farming tools that I have used in my life. I've used a shovel on many occasions. Right? Like, there, you know, I've dug fire pits. There's a lot of stuff that I've dug up with shovels. Just doing, like, random stuff in the yard. And that was when I was a kid and had a yard, obviously. Because nowadays my yard is a parking lot, not, you know, a thing that I can dig up. Let's see. Oh, tobacco. Yeah, it looks like... My guess is this place hasn't been effectively tended for quite a while. Given how much of this stuff is just... Looks like it's just sort of rotted on the vine. Let's take a look. So, we need to avoid any patrols. That is a Legion patrol. Don't have to worry about them. I'm actually curious, if I hadn't killed that guy, would he be at this place? Is that where he'd be? Because there's a couple of recruits here, but there's nobody interesting here. Like, there's nobody to talk to. And they're not hostile automatically. Well, I mean, they're not hostile automatically when I'm dressed up as one of them. They have no idea what's coming for them. So, these guys have 2 captives here, it looks like. Interestingly enough, I'm probably going to be increasing my, my stuff here. Well, it looks like they did decide to kill a few people. They're mixing their, like, Roman and Transylvanian stuff, which is interesting because that's very much what, like, modern day fascists do. So these like LARPing Legion people are actually very, very like 2020s fascists, where they're like merging all of these very different cultures that all tried to kill each other together and pretending that they're all the same. Because I don't think that the sticking heads on pikes thing was something that the Romans were known for. They were definitely known for their crucifixions. I think the heads on pikes things was more of Vlad and the sort of like East European type folk. And by East European, I mean like really, really East. So,
true to Caesar.
yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. True story, buddy. Absolutely. 100% agree. This is amusing. Okay, so obviously not doing any damage with my thing in here. So, oh, shit, I thought I knocked you out. Okay, there we go. So he's knocked out. Yeah, unfortunately, my first interaction with them was with a guy who specifically requested that I murder him. And so I'm pretty much never going to probably learn too much about the faction because I'm never going to have a interaction with the faction where they're not trying to kill me, pretty much. So hopefully I can drag this guy away a little bit. Now that I've taken his gun. There we go.
You like that?
I do very much like the fact that we're now behind cover where the others can't see us. No, you need to stay here.
You like that?
Okay. Oh, I just knocked you down. I didn't knock you out, apparently. So who's over there? This guy does not stay down for long. I think I can still do stomps while he's getting up, so I'm gonna just do the stomps.
Had enough?
Ouch. I have concerns about how low the condition on this weapon is getting. Okay. Yeah, this guy does not stay down for any length of time. Okay, so his leg's crippled. He's not running anywhere. Right leg's crippled. We can focus on the torso now. There's a lot of gunfire going on right now. Hopefully that's just some people fighting random animals or something.
Come on.
Alright. So that's the first one down. And the important thing here... So I'm totally hidden here. I don't know what's moving out there. That could be that NCR patrol from earlier. What the fuck? Who just shot me? Who just shot me? Who was shooting me? Oh, there you are. Alright, so this guy did aggro, it looks like. I'm going to... If this guy's aggroed, that changes the dynamic of what I need to do here, I think. I was thinking that I could basically just pick them off one by one. But that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So instead... 15 HP off of this. I don't think that's sufficient for my needs. I'm going to be wanting to use... This prickly pear fruit is amazing. Okay, I'm going to eat some of this. And let's see, do I want to equip my boxing gloves? The condition is so low now. I don't think I do. This guy wasn't hitting me very hard with that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my weapon binding ritual. And I'm actually going to go grab this guy's armor. I'm going to repair my armor with it. I shouldn't have done this. I thought that I was in undercover. There's another guy over there. So there are two of them on me right now. And that is a problem. So I don't know how many hits that guy's gonna take to take him out. So, I unfortunately put myself in a bad position here. Wearing the Centurion armor. I could put on the helmet instead to help with my thinger. +5 on arm skill is probably not as good as 4 GT. I'm gonna take this instead for now. Okay, so I hope I don't have to equip these, because if I have to equip these, then that's another... I can't do. The issue is this guy has like a shotgun, so he's hitting really hard when I get into melee range. Luckily, he just shot through my torso, and I think that was a miss. The problem is that you can't actually strafe around to hurt people. And yeah, it looks like he has enough HP that I'm not really accomplishing my objective with him very easily. So... that guy aggro, that guy has aggroed. So, what do I need to consume? I'm at a sarsaparilla. The crate that I looked at was empty. We have enough water that I could drink some purified water. What was that I was looking at earlier that had such great thinger? We have a caravan launch. I'm not going to use this because this is more than I have in hunger right now. There's prickly pear fruit. So this is worth 10 HP each. Oh my god, I have no HP. There's no way on earth that I'm going to be able to take out the next group. Right? Oh!
You won't escape me.
One of them actually de-aggroed completely. So...
You won't.
So this is just like a normal recruit. I actually hit stunned him here. So yeah, the normal legionaries don't have any HP at all. These guys are trivial. So here, ooh, nice! I got another prickly pear. Okay, so there's one that's hostile to me right now. I am full on hidden. We are going to use another prickly pear fruit. We're going to see if we can aggro the one. And that guy has a pistol. You're too far away. I'm probably going to die here, but it's possible that I win if I get a hit on his arm or hit stun him sufficiently. I'm probably going to have to equip the thing here. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to... oh man, that outfit. It's so silly. Let's see here. I might need to equip the boxing gloves for the first guy here. Oh, never mind. The first guy's already down. So I'll need to use the boxing gloves for this guy, probably. I think if I use the boxing gloves for this guy, it'll be reasonably trivial. Shit. He came around a side that I did not want him coming around. 6. And 6 is not enough. I need, I think, 7 hits on him there. So we need to get him to come around to either the other side or we need to be more patient. I didn't realize that there was that much space there. What I want preferably is for him to come around the corner at me. I can teleport to him with the VATS. This is 4 hits. I think I need 7 on him to knock him out. I do have stim packs. I am not allowed to use them. So the only healing items that I'm allowing myself to use are things like food and water. But not just like any old food and water. It has to be food and water while I am thirsty or hungry. So I'm only allowing myself to actually purge off my hunger meter. As my usage for that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the submachine gun before he picks it back up. Arm's crippled. Unfortunately, the thing just wore off, which means that I'm not gonna be doing any damage to him. Which is very unfortunate, because I really need that damage. I have like 16 stim packs on me or something like that. It's a little ridiculous. The other thing that's kind of funny is that I took the I took medicine as one of my initial skills. So I have like 30 medicine, and I'm not allowing myself to use medicine. Nope. I would like you to drop whatever it is that you just picked up. Thank you. Okay, he's just picked up one of those things that I really don't want him having. Can I knock that out of it? Oh no, he's just regenerating! The regen bug. This regen is going to outdo my damage output. He just undid all of the damage that I've done this entire fight. Okay, you know what? Since he did bug out, I am going to allow myself just for this guy to use Brass Knuckles and see how much damage it does. It seems like it's actually faster attacks than my base fists, which is kind of interesting. Okay, not worrying about it. We're using the Brass Knuckles for it. At some point, I might need to use Brass Knuckles just generally. I am going to prefer and avoid using Brass Knuckles in general purposes because I do think that it's a little too overpowered. Kind of takes away from the whole unarmed aspect of unarmed. But if the guy bugs out and regens all of his HP back, I mean, rather than just reload, I can just punch him into non-existence. So Centurion helmets are actually a different type of thing from this. Alright, so I can save the game. I think that's all of the guards here. There might be one more. Not positive. But I think we're set for now. Yeah, Brass Knuckles are okay. The bladed Knuckles... Alright, let's untie this guy. And I'm actually kind of curious if that's going to increase my reputation with the Powder Gangers enough that they don't try to kill me on sight anymore. My guess is no. My guess is I'm still going to be killed on sight with them, but that's fine. Some more scrap electronics here. Do I want to take this just because they seem to be reasonably rare? And then I immediately put myself into uncovered status. Okay, so... the one exception actually is I have been allowing myself to drink Sunset Sarsaparilla, which is technically not considered to be food or drink, but it's basically drink. So I have been drinking that. Let's see. Food we are all set on. We are also all set on H2O, which means I actually have basically no way of getting myself healthier again, which is a little concerning. I'm going to go ahead and drop you. You're super heavy, not very valuable. And we have completed one of these quests. Let's see here. So we've completed this. We only got 100 experience out of it, which is too bad. Here's the caravan. Let's see. Eagle wants a new sheriff. I don't know if this guy will debugged by now. I guess I could just teleport over there and check. He bugged out. There's apparently a bug where if you enter and exit the building that he's in, while you're in combat, he will aggro on you, and that's unfortunate. Let's see. Happy Trails Caravan Master. Alright, I'm going to take a look at this thing here. Purgative. Don't think I need that for now. I wish the game would make up its mind on whether E or X is supposed to exit out of things. So that is a group of Legion soldiers over there, and they do seem to be hostile to me. Hopefully, so this is an issue that can happen with. Let's see if this fixes. It does not. Hopefully, that's because they were close enough to the guys that I was aggroing when I was disguised that they have aggroed from like sort of some sort of weird communal aggro thing. And not like my disguise just randomly not working anymore because my personal reputation has gotten to the point that basically the modifier from the disguise is not sufficient. If that makes any sense.
Move along.
Alright, so let's see here. We're gonna go to... What do we need to do now? We need about 350 more experience to get to the next level. We've completed the quests that we're on. What I really need is a place to raid, but I don't want to raid over there. I could go to Novak if I want. Because I desperately need more Sunset Sarsaparilla. More than anything else, that's what I need right now. Let's see. I mean, what I really need is medical attention. Let's be totally honest. That's what I really need, but that's not that important, right? So I don't... Somebody's shooting at somebody. I'm gonna go find out who's shooting at who. Is this like a patrol shooting at some mole rats? It looks like that's a Legion patrol shooting at some mole rats. There's a lot of Legion patrols around here. Ooh, that is promising. So that's a location over there. I'm so happy that I have the ability to disguise myself as a member of the Legion. Holy crap. Can you imagine if I didn't have the ability to disguise myself? I'd be so limited in where I could move and what, when. Let's see. I see one hostile over there. My concern is that one hostile is only hostile because of my outfit. Like, that could be a sniper? They're in the vicinity of where I would expect a sniper's perch. So Ranger Station Charlie is here. I'm gonna take this off. Are you attacking me because... What's that? Are you named? I'm not hostile with the NCR. So I think that they are attacking me because I have the thinger on. Yeah, they're... I got within range for them to see me while I had the disguise on. So we're going to just walk away. And come back again later. Oh, I'm still wearing the armor. Okay. Alright, she is no longer hostile. They are not hostile yet, but they will be when they see me, I think. Okay, perfect. So we can go in there. There's a weird dynamic, weird interaction there, but we can now head into this place. Oh, Jesus. Not you. That's... When did you show up? Why is there only one of you? Where's your friends? Okay. Life is... Do I want to... I'm going to have to reload for this, aren't I? I can't kill this guy. Okay, give me a second. That guy hasn't triggered his little text yet, so... I'm gonna go up this hill. He's gonna give me his little spiel, but he's not actually gonna aggro me. He's not gonna aggro on me because I actually have the thing, so... Let's see. That Kaiser has marked you for death. Except, has he though? Don't I look like a good little legionary? I think I might even be your superior officer, sir. These assassins are troublesome. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap back to my leather armor. So he will have the ability to aggro on me now. And I'm not gonna be able to jump onto it here, am I? Nope. Well, let's hope that he doesn't do the thing. These guys are so buggy that, like, I don't really... I give very few potentially negative amounts of shits about these guys. It'd be nice if the rest of the town would show up to help. I don't like the assassins. Okay, so she's dead. I'm gonna go ahead and reload. God damn it. So I need to figure out a strat to... I guess, to be honest, the strat is just to fast travel and move back here. Because... Am I wearing the thing right now? Those Legion assassins are just so buggy. They're so buggy, and they spawn everywhere, and it makes me sad, and it's all fine. Alright. So, who is here? Is the coyotes? Oh, it's those naked mole rat things. Alright. Okay. Okay. And I might need to swap my boxing gloves, to be honest. Oh god. One down. Counter punch. Unfortunately, I took a bunch of damage there that I didn't need to take. And they did not get a lot of experience. But yeah, I was worried for a while that I was being too generous with myself in terms of like healing capacity. And I feel like those were unfounded concerns. That's not true. They were founded concerns, but concerns that have turned out to be okay. Thanks for the follow, left and right. Glad you're enjoying the punchy antics. So, what I want is, I'm going to save here. I'm going to try to see if I can get out of this disguise. Those guys are now no longer hostile. And I need to just jump in here. And I don't think that the assassins are going to just, like, walk all the way into an NCR base. I feel like that would be a really weird interaction. So, but, I mean, they're so buggy. Who knows? Who knows what nonsense they're going to pull off. Okay. Comm officer Stipnik. Bathroom. Okay, well, I guess I was going to talk to the comm officer. Hey, how's it going?
McCarran doesn't like it when civilians wander into military outposts, so if you're here on business, better make it quick.
What was that about
Radio
McCarran?
signal out here can be pretty spotty because of all the hills. Sometimes our scheduled updates don't go through.
Have you
When it
considered...
happens enough times, they send someone over to check up on us. Lately, we've been getting extra medical supplies for some reason. I'm in no rush to give the supplies back, either.
Okay. So, what is it?
Ranger Station Charlie. We're responsible for keeping the highway up through Novak civilized. All quiet at the moment. Ranger Beaumont is in charge here, but he's off leading a patrol.
I don't know what kind of crazy person talks to someone for the first time and willingly offers the information that they have more medical supplies than they need. This is information that you would be much more tight-lipped about.
We're part scout, part commando, part sheriff. The training is brutal, and I'd say 8 out of 10 recruits washes out before the end. Before you get your ranger badge, you've got to prove you can be quieter than a shadow, and more ferocious than a deathclaw.
I've seen Death Claws, and I'm looking at you, and there's a slight difference. Let's see.
Couple dozen, I'd say. Most of them posted at stations like this one. We either man the station or patrol the immediate area.
How do you become a
The
ranger?
Rangers mostly draw from the basic NCR army. A trooper who shows exceptional skill at fighting and scouting can be nominated for the training. Sure.
I guess I'll ask this just because.
I shouldn't have said anything in the first
Yeah.
place. I'd rather not get you into the habit of crossing the NCR. See you around.
Get you into the habit of crossing the NCR. What does that even mean? So,
Got business here.
I mean, define business. Not a lot of people here. That was Interestingly enough, this is not counted as stealing for some reason. Ooh, a rake. Ooh, a motorcycle gas tank. I think that was involved in a recipe of some sort, right? Was that used for making a flamethrower or something? Any flamethrower ammunition? I guess we'll go in here. I am a little disappointed in what I'm seeing here. I will take the Wonder Glue. Box of detergent, iron. It occurs to me that that's probably what they were talking about when I saw the iron earlier. Not the raw material. Just like a chunk of iron. Let's see. I wonder if I can sleep here. How's my sleep right now? Sleep is 61, so we don't need to sleep anytime soon. What's next on our agenda then? So from here we could continue north toward Novak. We could go to the NCR facility here. I think I actually am going to go here. I'm going to fast travel here. I'm going to see if I can complete this quest yet. I don't know if this guy will have de-aggroed yet or not. It looks like the answer to that is no. Maybe. Yes, he's de-aggroed. Hey, no, come. I want to talk to you.
Maybe you ought to worry about the guys trying to kill you first.
What guy's trying to kill me? Is it the sniper outside? We don't have to worry about the sniper outside. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't know if there's a way, like, in and out of that building that the sniper's in.
Maybe you ought to worry about the guys trying to kill you first.
There's nobody trying to kill me. Don't worry about it. See, the issue is that I don't want to leave this building. Now that he's fixed. So hopefully if I just sit here for long enough, I'll get out of the caution state. Yeah, I'm detected, but I'm detected by a friendly. It's fine.
Didn't know anyone would willingly
Yay!
walk into this place. Not unless they were looking for trouble. What's your story?
Okay. What'd you do before
I
ending?
was a sheriff, believe it or not.
He has no
Small
shits
town
to give.
far to the west of here. Short version is that sometimes justice is a little slow. I helped speed it up one too many times. I'm not sorry for anything I did, but I will do the time. Fair enough trade if you ask me.
Oh God. That doesn't sound like someone I want as a sheriff.
I understand that Cook was behind it all. I kept my head down the whole time. Didn't want any part of it. I stuck around, figuring the NCR would show up and put things back the way they were. No sense in making myself look guilty, right?
There's Cook.
Some kind of anti-NCR rebel. Some people just don't like being pushed around and told what to do.
Where can I find Cook?
He went north with some of the other guys. Didn't say where. Didn't say why. All I know is he's got some kind of score to settle with the NCR.
Okay. So who's in charge?
Right now, Eddie and his boys run the place. They've got the guns and the dynamite, so they call the shots.
So why are you still there?
I'm not quite sure the kind of greeting NCR troopers will give an escaped con like myself. Figure it's better to stay put for now.
I don't really want to put the NCR in charge of that town. On a small scale where he doesn't have any real power, it's probably fine. Like, if it's just him and a useless deputy, and he serves a town full of people with guns. Oh, there is the robot. Can the robot become the sheriff? That robot freaks me out, though. Like that robot seems to have some weird programming. Assuming you're talking about the robot that's actually in that town, because the robot has like this weird like programming to sort of like it's antagonistic toward the other building in the town, even though neither of the businesses have actually been running like and by their original like form for like hundreds of years. Like that seems like a worse choice than a guy who would potentially abuse his power, just because I could easily imagine that robot just making it a crime to go on that other side of town and then shooting anyone who goes over there. Advertising robots should never be put in positions of power because they're going to have really weird priorities. Let's see. There's the other one, because there's the robot that's in the other town, but he's literally never helped anyone before. So like the only person he's ever helped is me. So that guy seems like he would be a bad choice. The person that comes to mind immediately is Sunny, but I don't think Sunny is transplantable, and I don't know that I would want to tell her to move to that semi-useless town. I feel like she's got a better deal where she is. I've murdered so many people to get access to this guy, and then it turns out that he's like the kind of guy that you really just don't want to be giving a position of power to.
Watch yourself out there.
I'm going to save this. I'm going to make a hard save here. I'm going to go take a look. I'm going to see, because there's all these snipers around. Oh, right! I didn't actually fully clear this area. I can't teleport, right? Can I? Okay, I went too far. Ouch. I have 3 little slivers of HP and I'm getting sniped, so probably got a person in it too. Am I out of range? I am not out of range. There's another one there. There's another one there. Getting out of range of enemies is non-trivial. I don't think I'm in range of any enemies now. I am going to head back over to here. I was kind of given a binary choice, but there is the possibility that there are more choices available to me than that binary, and I hadn't really explored them. So I'm going to talk to Sunny first. She is the first person that came to mind when I was thinking about a sheriff. Sunny's not in here. She's probably sleeping. And then, looks like she's on her way back. So, I'm going to talk to her, and then I'm going to talk to the robot in this town and see what he thinks about being a sheriff, because he is a cowboy after all.
Hi there. Sticking around Good Springs for a while longer?
It occurs to me that cowboy is exactly the opposite of what you want in charge of a
Until
town,
next
because
time.
cowboys are, by definition, criminals. But, you know, that's fine. The cowboys are people who rustle cattle, actually. Let's see.
Howdy, partner.
Alright. Neither of these people are available. The robot that's in town is an absolute no-go. There is no way in hell that I'm putting that robot in charge of the town. Because, again, as soon as you start talking about the other building, which again is not an actual business, these are not businesses anymore. They don't, like, the entire dynamic of the town has shifted since then. It gets really hostile. And it basically, like, threatens your existence. So that robot is definitely a no-go. So, but between, like, giving control to these guys who actively did not help the town, and so they were actively useless, and giving control to this guy who at least will attempt to do something useful, you need someone to take who's willing to take some sort of action, even if they're not necessarily going to take the best action in a post-apocalyptic environment. In a normal world environment, it is much better to have nobody than to have somebody who's going to do potentially some bad stuff. It's better to have no one with power than to have someone with a degree of power. I don't know that that's necessarily the case in this kind of a scenario. In this kind of a scenario, I think that the people that are there are a little too apathetic to defend themselves appropriately from, as an example, the NCR just walking into the town.
Assuming an NCR pardon comes with the job, and it had better. I also need to be able to do things my own way. Due process has its place. But sometimes it's just a waste of time. I'll need to know that I'm not going to end up right back in prison.
So here's another interesting thing that's, I think, really important here. There's no such thing as due process. The sheriff of a town in the middle of goddamn nowhere is the law, right? And they are the law until they start engaging in behavior that is bad, and the town says, okay, you're no longer in charge of the law because you've demonstrated that you can't handle it and that you are not an appropriate person to hold that power. The way that, like, modern policing works is very different than the way that small-scale policing works, because a small scale, like this guy, if I put him in charge, if it was in a modern setting, he has an entire organization that will protect him from any repercussions of any of his illegal behavior and his bad actions. If he's in this town and he's the sheriff right up until the town decides that he's no longer the sheriff and they kick him out, right? And there's nothing he can do about that because he doesn't have an army behind him, whereas modern police have an entire army of people with guns that prevent them from being forcibly removed. So that's the basic gist there. I really don't like I don't know that this guy.
When I need to, yes.
Who else is going to? There's no juries, there's no judges, there's no legal system. So of course he is. I don't like the framing on this is kind of strange because it's coming from a fundamentally modern world framing where you're like, oh well, you need to have due process, but there's no due process in this world. There's no legal system in this world. There's nobody to bring these guys to. So what did he do that in this world would be considered renegade behavior, right? Like, who's the judge? Where are you supposed to send criminals, right? If somebody steals a cigarette, who dictates whether they committed the crime or not? Because a town of 15 people doesn't have the capacity to have a judge, right? So to a large degree in these kinds of towns, they're not really capable of having those large-scale systems. And both the NCR and the Legion hypothetically have legal systems, but in practice, they really don't. Like, they really don't have a legal system in the modern sense. They have a legal system in the feudal sense, right? Where there's these hypothetical rules that kind of exist, but each of these little towns is run by a duke. They're run by someone who has absolute authority, because who's going to stop them? There's no one who has the capacity to know that they have done something that they're not supposed to do. And even if they did, how are they going to enforce, right? They don't have the sort of mass transit. They don't have the mass, systems that a modern society has. They just don't, which means that they are more similar to a feudal society. And in a feudal society, you simply technologically just don't have the capacity to have what we consider now these modern systems, because these modern systems involve millions of people to keep them around. Right, but the Old West of the United States was the sheriff basically decided what he was going to do, and if he did something that was out of line, the town had to remove him, right? Like, the federal government had really no impact over the West, right? Like, there was the law was handled completely locally by locals. And that's true for most places, right? Any place that, you go back far enough, if you only have a couple of dozen people in town, law is handled locally. And that has held true through most of modern society. It isn't until about the 1900s that the real concept of oversight from a federal authority was really technologically even possible, right? So that's why lynchings were still a thing in the United States well into the 1900s. So anyway, so the dynamic here, I think, is kind of a false dichotomy, just because of the fact that because games have a tendency to hand wave all the systemic things that are going on from a societal perspective, they have a tendency to treat fundamentally different systems as if they have some like real world parallel, right? Like, oh well, you can just bring this wizard to jail and that will work. And it's like, no, you can't bring the wizard to jail because he can teleport out of the jail. Right? Or he can blow up the jail, right? Like, so there are different dynamics. Let's see. There's a big difference between laws that locals are expected to enforce and the things that the locals actually do. They're just not the same thing. And no one's going to write down all of the federal crimes that they committed locally, so you don't have any way of knowing what things they were doing outside of the the basic gist of what you can expect is that if you do not have the ability to project power, you do not have the ability to enforce law. So unless the federal government has a way of knowing that you committed a crime in the first place, and then actually forcing you to actually face punishment for your crimes, people are going to ignore the federal crimes. The feds just aren't going to be relevant. That's been true for all of human history. There have been a lot of weak kings. There's been a lot of weak emperors, right? The Emperor of Japan held all of the power in the country, except they had no power in the country because the shogun owned all the land and had all the control of all the people. So the shogun said what the shogun dictated what the emperor believed because the shogun was the one with all the real power, right? The shogun did not technically ever rule Japan. They were always administrative, like, implementer they were like the second in command. They were beneath the emperor, except they weren't. The emperor had no power. The emperor had zero power whatsoever. So, anyway, basic gist is I'm very concerned about the NCR because they seem to be so... The NCR and the Legion are both very LARPy, right? They both are trying to pretend that they live in a world that they do not live in, right? So the Legion is trying to believe that they live in this, like, old feudal state, and they don't, right? Like, they do not fundamentally live in feudal monarchies, and they do not live in a world where the strategy that they're utilizing is appropriate. So the Legion is a bunch of, like, dumb fascists, basically. They're LARPing fascists. The NCR are kind of like LARPer democracy people, except they don't actually have any meaningful democracy. They're not even LARPing democracy. They're LARPing American imperialism. So that's what they're really LARPing, is they're LARPing expansionistic imperial behavior, and they're basically emulating almost all of the really terrible things that the US government does without actually emulating any of the good stuff about a democracy, right? We haven't seen anything about a democratic process from the NCR, right? So, like, there's this interesting dynamic, right? And anyway, so for my purposes, if you do nothing, the NCR just is going to eventually realize that they can take over the outpost, right? They're going to do that eventually. If you put this guy in charge, he's actually, to be honest, now that I think about it, to be honest, I feel like this guy, if he was put in charge, with his personality, he would probably just, like, immediately surrender if he was pressed by the NCR, because this guy is pretty cowardly. So he's basically just submitting to whatever authority happens to have the most guns in the area at the time. So yeah, I guess that's actually a really big issue. This guy has kind of the worst of both worlds now that I think about it, because there isn't any realistic reason to believe that he would allow the town to retain its autonomy, because he is kind of simping for the NCR. So why would not just put the NCR in charge instead of putting him in charge? I would have to talk to the robot again, but I can't imagine putting that robot in charge. The programming on that robot is just very unstable. That robot has unstable programming. The advertising programming, I would not be surprised if it resulted in him wiping out half the town at some point. So, let's see. I don't know. Oh, I would be reprogramming it. Oh yeah, you can reprogram those, can't you? That changes the dynamic completely. That's actually a really good point, left and right. Okay, yeah. If you're actually reprogramming it, you can get rid of those bugs. Okay. Yeah, I'm convinced. This guy's kind of the worst of both worlds.
Understood.
The NCR is not like
Watch yourself.
the NCR is not a group that I would trust with damn near anything. But, and I definitely don't trust that robot. But if I'm actually reprogramming it, which brings, you know, a whole nother bunch of moral questions to mind. But that's fine. Oh, you know what? The easiest way for me to go is probably to just pop out this way. So, I like how all this stuff is considered stealing. Should I take their sarsaparilla? I'm gonna see if I lose karma for this. Why am I losing karma for? I just murdered all of these people, and it's treating it as if like, they're dead. They don't need their sarsaparilla. Why did I not lose karma for killing them? Oh my god. By the way, this is why morality systems in video games should not exist in this way. The idea of like a flat-out morality system doesn't work because inevitably you run into circumstances where you're suggesting that it's good and proper to murder this person, but then once you've murdered them, if you take the gun, or like, it's perfectly fine to kill this person, but if you disarm them and then pick up their gun off the ground, you've committed an evil act. Which I'm pretty sure is a thing that happened while I was in that fight over there. That's more friends. Okay. I just need to get to a position where I'm not in combat. Where I'm far enough away from these guys. Let's see. Am I wearing my leather armor like a dang noob? Yes, I am. Okay. I have basically no HP left. That's okay. You know what? Oh my god. How many explosives do you have? Oh god. So this is not one of the really weak ones. I'm gonna die here. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to swap up where I go to. Do I want to jump over the wall? I think jumping over the wall probably exposes me a little bit more, so I'm not going to jump over the wall. But let's see, does this guy aggro when I come in here? Nope, not yet. Okay. That's interesting. There's somebody over here who is not hostile. Alright, so I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to take out the sniper. So let's take out the boxing gloves again. I do not have a lot of durability on this. Okay. And fortunately, oh boy, this guy is tankier than I would have expected. I am totally boned here, I think. I'm actually kind of curious, like, is he... I'm curious if he's gonna still be like knowledgeable. I'm gonna reload. I'm curious if he's gonna be knowledgeable of my location if I think it'd be really nice if I had a good way of dealing with my current HP trophies. Because I'm really, really, really low. Let's see. I was eating too much good food, because the good food's ratio of food to healing is really high. Let's see here. Drink some water. What do I want to do about it? So this thing is... Because if I just eat a bunch of jalapenos, so this thing... What's it? Let's see. So I'm going to go into cell block B. I'm now under caution. There's a dude over here. And let's see here. This is Fallout New Vegas. Do I want to equip my gloves? Okay, I don't need my gloves for this guy because this guy's really squishy. Aggroed both of them accidentally. Don't bother me. So they're both gonna aggro now, I think. Gonna pop out my boxing gloves. So that guy took a pretty decent number of hits to take down. If I can take his weapon out of it... I think I'm gonna have to take like 7 hits again. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna be able to take out this whole area right now. I need to actually get myself healed up. So where do I want to go? Pop over here, I guess. I do want to not get shot. I got shot. Okay. I think I'm in an okay position to avoid getting shot for a while. So if I stay on this side of this, I should be able to use the tower as a blockade. Is that that's probably like bloat flies or something over there? I'm going to try to get far enough away from everybody over here that I actually de-aggro. Let's see if that is feasible. Wait, have I never been here? Interesting. Some of the fellows further north are trying to organize. We're starting to think it's a good idea. Get a full resources. We're going to survive out here. Sure, you've noticed the decline of travelers. If we're getting wise, we should do. Okay. So I think we're now at a fast travel location that we can get back from. Activate this campfire if I want. Do I have? I do not have the materials I need for what I want. Weapon binding ritual. Need healing powder. Alright, so I'm out of healing powder. Is this a skill book? No, it's a magazine. That's too bad. Spork. Definitely gonna need that dino toy. Weirdly enough, that dino toy doesn't actually have a value, so it's probably for a quest, I guess. Squirrel stew, spork. This is the first one of their camps that I've seen, I think, that doesn't have a bunch of explosives just lying around. Alright, so I guess we'll try to go reprogram that robot. We'll see how it goes. I don't have a lot of science. My science is what? What's my science at? 19. I could have a 39 for science. That's not great for trying to reprogram a very buggy piece of hardware. Let's try this. Alright, let's talk to
Welcome back.
Ruby. Okay, here you are.
You got that old robot up and running again? How's it working out for you?
Oh, is that the thing I could have asked him about? I thought I was talking about this robot. What about Prim Slim? Can he be a sheriff? Oh, is Prim Slim the robot? Let's ask some questions.
That beat up old pile of bolts? What do you want to know?
Where'd it go?
The courier dropped it off a little bit ago. I'd hoped to get it up and running for some courier work, but never could get it running.
Any idea what I should do?
Not a bit. I imagine there must be some people around curious about that kind of technology.
I was wondering about that. It makes sense that that's the robot. Okay.
I get.
Ask about. Can he be sheriff?
Well, I guess I never thought of that. I guess he could be sheriff. If you think he could be reprogrammed for it.
Okay. I still think this is a very dumb question.
Goodbye.
They're clearly a gang. Like, gang is a word that has a very broad meaning, and that they definitely fit the qualifications. Like, you could call the Imperial Legion a gang, and people would be like, yeah, okay, that fits, that works. You could do the same with the NCR. The NCR is a bit of a harder sell, because... Oh! Well, this is easy. It's just requires... I can do this. Let's do it. I don't know why I would need all those parts to reprogram this guy. Like, if you can either reprogram him or you can't, right? Like, you're not doing it just because you have the thing. But I think I have like a ton of those science magazines. This is medicine. Salesman Weekly. Programmers. Yeah, I got.
Howdy, partner.
I got programming manuals for
Dance
days.
Casino and Museum.
Let's do it.
Law enforcement protocols reinstated, partner. Initializing use of force
Reinstated?
Authorization found. Yeah.
I feel like that was not enough programming. I feel like that was not sufficient for what I needed, but it's okay. So, we are going to go ahead and get melee weapons up to 45. This will allow us to get the thing that allows us to knock people over when we punch them. Let's see. I'm looking at all the other ones as well, just to make sure that I don't have something else that I want first. Sneering imperialist. Stonewall is super cool, and I want to get that reasonably soon. I haven't been knocked down much in combat, so I'm not really that concerned about that. But 5 damage threshold against melee weapons seems pretty cool. That being said, like if a Deathclaw is hitting me for 150 damage, 5 damage threshold is not going to be relevant. So most of the things that I think are going to be hitting me for very low damage are honestly guns. Like most guns, like if you're getting shot with an Uzi, it hits 16 times. Like that's when you want that 5 damage threshold. Whereas when you're getting like hit in the face with a maul, less relevant. Let's see. I'm going with Super Slam. We're picking it up. And hopefully this will allow us to start triggering like some crazy shenanigans. This does hypothetically allow us to RNG our way to victory in any fight, as long as we can kill something in, you know, an okay pace. Because obviously you can't RNG forever, right? Eventually, I would die of old age before I actually RNG my way into a victory. That does eventually happen, but...
Howdy.
Howdy, partner. Welcome to... You got it, partner. Friend Slim loves to spin a yarn. First things first. Any boss you've heard about...
Okay, so this is not that relevant. Also, interestingly enough, Vicky and Vance don't seem like they're copycats.
Howdy.
The fact that it was lit that way indicated to me that it was... So these guys are presumably going to get into a fight with those guys in the back at some point, but it's fine. It does seem like this has changed the town.
Well, if it isn't the Lawbringer.
What's the problem now?
My problem is that I'm no longer a deputy. I'm just a beagle now.
Oh no!
Slim's alright. I don't wish him no harm. But the law to him is a set of logic. Not everything
Good.
is black and white. Not sure a robot can ever understand that.
I mean, I don't entirely agree with that.
Hey there.
There's a lot of situations where I think that the law should be maintained. Obviously, unjust laws should not be maintained. But if you have a just law that is working and doing what it's supposed to do, then even if someone you would prefer them not to be punished, sometimes they should be punished because the consequences of them not getting punished is worse. This gets into a whole complicated dynamic that, generally speaking, I have mixed feelings about legal architecture, but there are cases where, like, the law should just be considered to be what it is. Doing fancy stuff with it causes some very serious problems sometimes. So this is Matthew's Animal Husbandry Farm. So we managed to... Completing that quest gave us a lot of experience. Canyon wreckage, near Prim, enter the Divide. So what else do we have? We can try to get to Novak. I could actually try doing this. It's kind of tempting to go here and try to complete this DLC at half of the level that I'm supposed to be for it. It's not that far into the game that you run into it. So it's tempting to think, oh, it'll be fine. Why not just try it, right? But I have major concerns. Sierra Madre? Oh, but I have no idea where this is. I guess I could click on it and just see where it is. I've been kind of avoiding. So one of the issues with games that are that give you a compass and very specific directions in the UI is that they have a tendency to not give you sufficient information through the dialogue and the quest text to know where you're supposed to go. And I find that very unfortunate. And that was something that I've definitely noticed about this game. Is like, they'll be like, oh, you know, go fight something outside somewhere. And it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to fight, where I'm supposed to fight it, or what's going on. And the only way to find out what you're supposed to do is to click on it and then look on the map. Okay, so that's a million miles away. We're definitely not going to be able to do that anytime soon. But what we can do, if I want... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's very cool. That's a cool perk. I don't know that I'll ever use it, but... Because I'm probably not going to have that... I'm not going to have Edie with me whenever when I'm in combat. This required, I think, lockpicking, question mark. I could go to Camp Searchlight and see if they have anything interesting to say to me. I don't have the thing equipped, do I? Scared the crap out of me. Hello. I am live. 1 second, folks. And I return with knowledge of what is going to happen next. So, I am going to be going for another 45 minutes or so, then we'll have food showing up, and then I will eat that, take a break, and I might be back after that, might not be, kind of depends, we'll just have to see. So, for now, we will see anything interesting here. Doesn't look like there's really anything interesting here. Seems very arbitrary which things are there. Let's see here. So if I go to Ranger Station Charlie, I don't have the thing equipped right now, right? I do not. So I could teleport to Ranger Station Charlie and not get immediately killed. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start heading north here. So there's some barrels over there that I don't want to see. I'm gonna wait until I get a little bit further out. I think about here is good. I don't think I'll run into any more NCR patrols north of here. But this will hopefully protect me from those assassins, and then we will go on. So there's a couple, and by a couple I mean there's 5 peeps up there. Hey, it's a dinosaur. Hello, dinosaur. How are you? Right. There's some friendlies over here. wonder what those are. Are those Imperials or are those townspeople? Or are those like, those are cows? Okay. So somebody has cows here. I have to keep an eye on whether people are going to be hostile to me. Boxing times? Unarmed plus 20? Holy crap. I don't really know what utility that'll have, but we found Novak. And we're going to grab all this stuff. We have very low HP right now, so it doesn't seem like these folks are bothered too much by my Imperial outfit. So, a bunch of unnamed settlers.
Howdy.
Howdy ho. Howdy ho, neighborino. Alright, these two are not hostile at the moment. Hopefully they don't get hostile when I get closer and they see the paraphernalia I have. There's 2 skulls out there and then another one on the mailbox. And there's another copy of Boxing Times here. Have you people been shooting her? Yeah, I was thinking I would take off my armor if, like, the thing that I'm concerned about is getting, like, having the assassins just jump into town and causing a huge problem. So I'm keeping the armor on most of the time unless it causes a specific problem for me. That's my general take for right now because of the assassins that keep spawning. Oh, cool.
Bye.
Alright, so I can ask her for medical attention, but obviously we can't do that. That would be silly. We can go into this Novak house, and we can steal all the stuff in this house without problem. And we have a teddy bear here. Okay, taking from this footlocker is stealing, but taking most of the stuff in this room is not. Why? Because reasons. I don't know what karma actually does. It's kind of confusing to have a karma system and a faction system at the same time. Like, I feel like that's a kind of a weird combination, because they're kind of mutually exclusive, right? Because you can't really say that morality is, like, an objective thing while simultaneously acknowledging that there are multiple factions that have different ideas. And it's particularly weird when you say that it's actually good karma to kill that person because they were a bad person. That kind of, like, moralizing does not belong in a faction-based game, to be perfectly honest. Let's see here. It's perfectly fine for the player to just be like, this faction is just evil, right? But the developer shouldn't be making that decision themselves. They can have that belief, right? But I don't think that it makes sense to mechanically, what's the word? Enforce that, if that makes any sense. So, like, when I was fighting the people at the beginning and I first killed people, the first time that I got karma in this game was from killing someone, and that is absolutely not how karma works. that is really, really not how karma is supposed to work. That is very antithetical to the very concept of karma. So maybe not antithetical to the entire concept of karma, but it's... Looks like there's a chest under here. Oh, there is, and it's an easy lockpick, which I don't think I can do, actually. I don't have 25. So this person's just sweeping up their house, except it's apparently not their house, because me, like, doing this isn't stealing. And it seems very sad for them to be sweeping this house. I'm not gonna lie, but the idea that someone is trying to upkeep this house and it looks like this is much more depressing than the idea that there's just nobody trying to maintain this house at all. Like, it's just, that's just sad. It's very, very sad. Alright, so we're going to continue out. I am surprised that I'm not running into any issues with my Imperial armor here, but I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, because they probably don't even know who the Empire is.
Got spies all over.
Who?
Who sent you? I ain't talking. They tried to get me to talk before, but I didn't say nothing. And I don't aim to now, by gum.
You just said a bunch of stuff. Who tried to make you talk?
Fine, so Bark, you done it again. You let on that you know things. Now they'll never let you be. All right, stranger, you got me.
Okay.
You want to know?
Why do they call you No Bark?
Because they know I ain't just barking here. What I say is got bite, because it's the truth. Them quack doctors can say what they want about all the rat scorpion stings that done pierced my skull, and I know what I seen.
How are you alive? What's been going on in
There's
town?
been things of a disturbing nature going on at the McBride Corral. Seems every night one of their herd meets a most unnatural death. And always there's holes all over the body. Work of the chupacabra, the livestock vampire, says No Bark. But they don't pay no mind. Too many holes, they say, and there's bullets in them.
That's just...
No Bark, we got a chupacabra with an automatic weapon. That's how they get real quiet. How they see the predicament.
Yeah, that's why they're getting quiet. Hey, Kaz. Are you available to answer a question? Unfortunately, the biologist is not here. Let's see. What else do you know about
I
this?
come face to face with the chupacabra himself one night, whilst I was investigating whether this gecko was hiding his treasure from me. He was the meanest, ugliest chupacabra you could imagine. Had 2 heads and fangs down to the ground. Best I could tell anyways, since when he come up to me he was invisible. Had himself a blunderbuss, what would rotate and shoot bullets real fast out of a backpack. Never seen nothing like it. Walked right past me having an argument with somebody. But I only saw one chupacabra, so I guess the other fella had to be invisible too. Only more invisible than the other one.
These sounds like the ravings of Madman at first, but actually, from a practical perspective, everything that he said so far makes perfect sense, except his attribution of it being a chupacabra. Everything else is perfectly reasonable. So what he just described is a minigun. That's a thing that I'm aware of the existence of. The invisible component is, I mean, I have like 4 stealth boys in my inventory. I think those make you invisible. So, like, he hasn't described the physicality of it. He said it had fangs that reached to the ground. One could interpret that as like fully armored like legs, right? So one could interpret this as being talking about I don't remember what that faction is called. The super armored people, right? I could see that being the dynamic. I am actually trying to take this guy seriously and think about what he's saying and interpret what it could possibly be talking about. But let's see. Anything interesting?
Folks will tell you that they seen ghouls up near the rocket factory. Sensationalist hooey, cooked up by superstitious yokels, seeing phantoms of their own imagining.
I love it. Alright, who do you think is actually at the factory?
Ghosts. Tommy ghosts who don't know they're dead. Hoping to steal our rockets. They can fly up and paint the moon pink and draw a Lenin face on it.
That sounds about right.
Disappear and reappear before my very eyes.
Oh my god.
Being a scientist, I have to admit I might have just blinked for longer than usual, what with the shock of seeing a comic ghost and so forth.
Okay, so there's someone up there who has access to stealth boys. He didn't make the connection between his chupacabra and these disappearing ghosts. And a checkered coat.
Sure have. Camouflage, that coat was. Trying to hide from extraterrestrials what can only see in black and white checkers. But they're not fooled, because he forgot to put checkers on his face. I told him so, and he seemed to take it to heart. They stayed here a night and was up by the dinosaur, talking to the sniper fella with the mustache a couple of times.
Okay. There's a sniper up there. He can apparently play Caravan with this game. We never spoke. True story. 100%. That's true. We didn't. We're not even here. Like, we don't even exist. I have it on good authority that actually this is just a digital recreation of a world, and that neither of us is real, and that I don't actually have a pink mustache. Wait, that last part is impossible. I clearly have a glorious pink mustache. So clearly I'm just a crazy person, don't know what I'm talking about. There's some graves here. I am not going to start digging up graves. Okay, I say start. I'm not going to continue digging up graves. I did dig up the one grave, hoping to find something interesting, and found nothing interesting. So the dinosaur is over here, and I don't see anybody hostile in it, so hopefully this outfit that I'm wearing isn't going to cause problems for me. And there's a rocket factory around here somewhere, allegedly. You know, every now and then, like, you just see a thing and then it just makes you sad. For whatever reason, seeing this workspace, I immediately thought I might get rads coming in here because it's got the bomb and, like, maybe someone's working. And it's like, oh, well, who would have, like, radioactive material just sitting around their workspace where they're going to get radiated by it? And then I thought about the woman who basically discovered radiation and died of radiation poisoning, and it makes me sad. And I thought that I should share that sadness with all of you. Because that's just the kind of asshole that I am. So, there you go. Oh, I didn't realize I could kick that shit around. Cool. So, now we're going to climb up this. This is so cool. I like this dinosaur thing. There's no vac.
Howdy, partner.
Hey, Victor. What are you doing here?
Butter might call me a biscuit if it ain't my old friend from Good Springs.
Let's see. Yeah, it's nice to see a friendly face out here. A face.
Likewise, friend, likewise. Is there anything old Vic can do you for?
There's no price that is going to allow me to penetrate me with whatever you have. So no, there's nothing you can do me for. No, name a price. let me hear your offer first. But probably no. Okay. Anyway, let's see. You said the men that jumped me were heading this way, right?
No, don't believe I did. But you might ask around. The Novak folk usually see anyone traveling this way.
Hey, what are you doing in Novak?
Don't rightly know. Just got the notion to make my way to New Vegas. Reckon I'll find out when I get there.
So here's something interesting. It's really tempting to assume that the robot is actually lying to you. Like, it's really tempting to treat it like it's a real boy. There's actually no guarantee that this robot has any idea that it's behaving weirdly, and that it is legitimately drawn to this in a way that is completely outside of its conscious brain. So it just got the idea to go to New Vegas completely independently. It's met up with you along the way, and it's legitimately surprised to see you because it doesn't know that it is being brought along with you. It just has no idea that the reason that it's independently getting these ideas is because it's supposed to be following you or something. And it might not even be trying to follow me. To be fair, it might be that it's just going to the same place that I am and it's not following me. I don't think that's the case, though. Some of the things that it said in the previous one indicated an uncomfortable amount of concern for me from a creature that has never helped anyone in the past. But with that being said, that again doesn't mean that it knows that it's behaving weirdly. As far as this guy's concerned, he's a super helpful and useful individual and an upstanding member of society. Maybe. It's also possible that he's a Machiavellian, robot who knows exactly what's going on. But there's not any real guarantee of that because of the nature of its programming. It's kind of like when you implement robots and AIs, you always have to remember that with AIs, mind control is a real thing, right? Like mind control in real life, like you don't have like the ability to like hypnotize someone and get them to do something that they don't realize they even did. You can do that with a robot. A robot, you can program them to do a task and forget that they ever did it. You can program a robot to do a thing, but think they're doing it for a totally different reason than they're actually doing it. And obviously people often do things and they think that they are doing them for a different reason than they actually are doing it because of like cognitive dissonance and a variety of things like that. But it's not as like cut and dry and as like mind control-y as what you can do with a robot. So I don't really see any reason whatsoever to be hostile to him because he hasn't actually been hostile to me at any point. So what I'm instead going to do is just try to get as much information in a friendly manner as possible. You show a pleasant face, ask all the questions. You can be, super suspicious, right? This is super sus. But just because you're suspicious doesn't mean that you should act suspicious. Generally, if you're suspicious, don't act suspicious. You get more friendly the more suspicious you are, and they will tell you the things that you want to hear because they don't think that you're suspicious. Anyway, so what's the story?
Novak? Nice enough place, I suppose. But between you and me, when I rolled into town, my skin started to itch. Watch yourself.
You don't have skin. Okay, cool.
Be seeing you.
So I'll see you later. So this guy is heading to New Vegas for unknown reasons. Coincidentally, that is the place that the other thing is going. Now, what I'm curious about is I'm going to assume that the protagonist here is correct. That's going to be my assumption, is that the protagonist is correct and that guy did in fact tell us to come here. And if he told us to come here and he doesn't remember it, that implies that he's got some sub-programming going on that is overriding his proper like mental processes.
Hey there.
And that'd be pretty cool, actually. I would really like if this robot is legitimately just like chilling, doing his thing. It has no idea what's going on.
Tired from the road. Why don't you relax a spell? Let this fine town take care of you.
Okay. So, we haven't met yet.
Oh, what am I doing? I got to thinking about making a good impression and plain forgot to tell you my name.
I mean, I didn't tell you my name either.
I'm Jeannie May. I take care of folks here at the motel, long as they aren't troublemakers.
Oh, well, you might not want to take care of me then, lady. I like to make trouble.
We're in a little desert oasis, name of Novak. This is the Dino Delight Motel, and it's mine.
Let's see. So what's been going on in town?
Well, let's see. Dusty McBride's been losing some Brahmin, but that's probably the heat more than anything. Honestly, it's been real quiet. Ranger Andy's still hurt, but we got these two gentlemen snipers watching the road day and night, keeping the trash out of Novak. They've been a blessing.
Listen to people long enough and they'll tell you who they are. Keeping the trash out of Novak. There's a big difference between saying something like, keeping Novak safe from criminals and saying keeping the trash out of Novak. You know what that means.
Well, there's Dinky, the town mascot. He's a sight. You probably already saw him when you came in, but you can go up inside, too. Up the road a ways to the west, there's Repcon. That's the old rocket factory.
That's good to know. Thank you.
There's been some sinister characters out there lately, so you may want to stay clear. Other than that, nothing to do but take it easy and enjoy good company.
Anything else?
Well, up north a ways, you'll see a big tower. That's Helios 1. Used to be a power plant in its day. And there's a town just east of here called Nelson. Used to be such a quaint little place until those slavers took it over. But we got our wonderful snipers keeping an eye in that direction, and so far, the slavers have left us alone.
Our wonderful snipers. Okay, so let's see. Where can I get some supplies?
Go see Cliff Briscoe at the Dino Bite gift shop and tell him I sent you. I think he gets lonely standing around in that dino belly all day. He'll be glad for the company.
I'm definitely going to want to take off my armor before I go upstairs. Tell me more about that, kind of.
I just know what I've heard. There's supposed to be some ghouls that went in a while back. Ever so often, there'll be a commotion from that direction. Explosions and such. Watch out for strangers.
Okay. Well, I mean, do I count as a stranger? Oh, yes. I would also like to point out that for whatever reason, using this vending machine doesn't count as stealing, but using the vending machine in, like, the criminal hideaway prison counts as stealing. It's just so random and arbitrary. I like the dynamic, right? I do like being able to have an idea of when it's going to be causing problems for me to take this stuff, but it's very funny how, like, let's see, go inside the dinosaur at night. Okay. I'm going to head over to the dinosaur right now. Let's see. Well, maybe I'll head to wherever I head to next right now, but let's see. Do I have anything that I want to drop off here? Do I want to try to... Can I use two things at the same time? I'm a little concerned too. Let's see. I'm going to use some... These are not that heavy. These are actually very light. Boxing times. Doctor's bags. How is a fresh apple so heavy? That is a very heavy apple. Let me take a look at my food. I've got a lot of food to play with right now, so let's see here. We want to use some... I don't want to use Ruby's casserole. That seems like a really bad idea. So we have 2 Sunset Sarsaparilla now. We're actually pretty good on HB right now as well. Don't want to use those pods. Some Brock flour. Buff out. Bunch of Hydra. Don't want to use the jalapenos. I don't think I want to use the jalapenos right now. I'm kind of tempted to use the prickly pears. I'm going to use these for now. They're not that heavy, so it's kind of unfortunate to use them for that, but it's fine. Do I have something that I can just drop? That was kind of creepy. Wow, that's a lot of yeast. Let's see. I could get rid of some of these mantis eggs, I guess. I could drop one of my belts. Belts are really easy to make, so dropping just one belt is not a big deal. Alright, so let's see. We are going to swap our apparel. Actually, before I do that, I am going to save. We've saved the game. Now I can take off this and use my leather armor. I don't know what's going to be in here. Oh, this is leading to the dinosaur. Oh, is this how I get into there? Cool. Okay, so this is going to be some people's places. I'm going to pop into the Dino Bite gift shop right now. Dino Bite.
Welcome to the Dino Bite gift shop. My name's Cliff. If you're here for the T-Rex figurines, you're just in time. There's still a few left.
Okay. G May sent me.
Bless her. Seems like every traveler I get in here tells me the same thing. They see the sign and think, gift shop? That's just too good to be true. But Jeannie May always points them back in my direction. Well, a friend of Jeannie's is a friend of mine, and my friends get a discount at my store.
Cool. What do you sell here?
Well, there's T-Rex figurines, of course. That's our bread and butter. We also have an assortment of the Repcon factory souvenirs, rockets, things of that nature.
Okay. Tell me about the souvenir.
They're scale replicas of the real thing. Very detailed. Got a liquid in them that makes them glow. From what I hear, Repcon used to give them out on tours of their HQ up in Henderson. But I guess they had to stop after the first few kids thought they were filled with Nuka-Cola and drank it down. The papers had a name for the condition and everything. They called it the Repcon shakes. Those were bad times for Robco.
So how'd they end up here?
Well, they unloaded what they had left on the Dino Bite as a tax write-off, but that was before my time. Plenty of demand for them, seeing as how they're one-of-a-kind collector's items, but I might still have some in back.
This would have... So this is talking about, like, regulations and all sorts of... This would have had to have happened hundreds of years ago, right? How do you know such a detailed, like, story of what happened here?
Guns? Well, yeah, I guess I might have a few.
Darn
it, no one ever buys the T-Rexes.
I already got one. Can I buy the T-Rex from you?
Have a look.
I'm not gonna buy 1,000 of them, but I'll buy one. They just zero it out and look at one. Let's see what else. Katana Authentic Blade. Interesting. Hey, it's a Power Fist. Oh my god. Look at the damage on these things. Holy crap. Okay. Salesman Weekly is magazine. That done. Elefantma. Interesting. I wonder what GRA means. Aw, he doesn't comment on the fact that I bought the T-Rex? I was hoping that he'd comment on the fact that I bought a T-Rex. That's too bad.
What's going
on? Hey Manny, how's it going? Who are you?
I'm Manny. I'm on security detail here. You see a rifle barrel sticking out of the dinosaur's mouth, you got a 50-50 shot it's me. Otherwise, it's boom.
What do you protect them from?
You name it. Anything that comes within 1,000 yards that looks like trouble. Lately, we've been getting ghouls, coming from the road to Repcon out to the west. Quite a few last couple days. The big threat is the Legion coming from the east. If they decide to attack with a full force, they'll run us over. So far, we've been lucky.
Okay, who's Boone?
Boone's a sniper, same as me. Used to spot for him when we were enlisted with the NCR. After we got out, I talked him into settling down here. So, here we are. I'd introduce you, but we're not so friendly right now.
Oh, why are you on bad terms?
Me and his wife, we didn't see eye to eye on some things. We had some pretty big arguments. One day, she turns up missing, and he hasn't said a word to me since.
What did you argue about?
Man, you name it. See, I grew up in North Vegas. Me and my cousins, we were some bad seeds. Got in with a gang, I loved it. Then something happened, and I couldn't handle it anymore. So, I enlisted, earned my future, brought down my best friend to share that future with me. And here was this woman who was too good for it, trying to take him away. So yeah, I didn't see eye to eye with the bitch.
Okay. Let's see. So what was your tour like?
Oh, it was great. I wouldn't trade it. Something about that lifestyle, the discipline, seeing new places, making people safe. What's not to like?
So why'd you leave?
Well, I just felt like it was time, you know? Wanted to have a home. Plus, I was up at Camp Golf when Bitter Springs went down. I faked like I was sick to get out of going because I knew some of the people there. But when everybody came back, nobody would tell me what happened, and people would call us murderers sometimes when we showed up to secure towns.
So what did happen with Bitter Springs?
I still don't know exactly. Just that a lot of people died who didn't want to be a part of the fighting at all. I don't blame anybody for it. There's so much chaos when you're fighting. You're lucky not to shoot your own guys. But it did take something out of it for me. Just wasn't the same. So when it came time to re-enlist, I just took my papers and walked.
Interesting. I'm not sure that he's actually telling the truth about not actually being there, but we'll see. So, you were in a gang? Were they tough?
Were they tough? I was in the cons, man. It doesn't get any badder.
Okay.
Sure I know him. What do you want with him?
Let's see. I guess he has something in mind? I am also looking for answers, but I guess I'm looking for answers is probably the most accurate.
Must be something pretty important to be chasing a guy like that. Well, listen, I can definitely help you find him, but I've got problems of my own. Maybe we can do a trade. You need my help. There's something I need too.
Okay. We're doing it! You've had your needs neglected for far too long, haven't you? I can tell.
Yeah, everybody depends on you, you know? But they don't ask you about how you feel, what you worry about.
Yellow.
There's something I like about you. You just seem really understanding. I was gonna ask you for a favor, but I'll just tell you what you want to know.
Oh, okay.
The man you're looking for, Benny? He was traveling with some members from my old gang. They were going to Boulder City.
Let's see. Any idea why they went there?
No clue. I know Benny hadn't paid up yet. Maybe that was where they were supposed to get square.
So we're in Boulder City.
It's straight up Route 93 from here. Just keep following the road north.
Yeah, that's all I needed to know.
Glad I could help. Hey, I know you've got no reason to help me out now, but you seem really nice. Could I at least tell you about the problem we've got here?
Absolutely.
See? I was right about you.
Why not?
Novak, it's home for me now. I want that to be for good. I like it here, and I've left too many homes behind. But the only resource we got here is junk. Without that, people wouldn't have anything to trade. They'd all have to leave. We get most of it up the road from the old rocket test site, but a bunch of ghouls showed up one day and took it over. We can't get in there now.
So what needs to be done?
Well, they gotta go, or this will be a ghost town before long. Doesn't matter to me what you do. As long as the ghouls are out of there, that's good enough for me.
Okay, I'll see what can be done about it.
It'd mean a lot to me.
Okay, cool beans. So we now have
see ya.
a quest to do. We've been told our next direction. And I like a lot of the framing there. Where he's like, you know what? You're an understanding sort. Also, I don't know why I need confirmed bachelor to basically just tell him, hey man, you know. Yeah, I don't know where Boone is. I'll try to find him in the town. Alternatively, we'll find him later tonight. Looks like someone's outside my door though, so I think we're actually going to be ending for right now and restarting in a bit. But give me, that is the knock I was looking for. So 1 second. Actually, I'm just so 1 second first. Sorry about that. So, I'm knocking my hood off. No. So that is actually going to be it for right this second. My food has arrived, which means that I'm going to have a quick lunch. Once I've had my lunch, I will then, I think, come back to this. I don't usually stream this late, but my wife's just going to be busy doing her work. So since she's going to be buried, I will be heading out for now. So in just maybe an hour or so, I think I'll be coming back to this. If not, then I'll be coming back to it tomorrow. Either way, we will go talk to Boone. We'll start doing the ghoul stuff. I really appreciate the way that they handled the conversation with that guy, where he's like, yeah, man, nobody actually gives a shit about my emotions. It's nice to have someone who's actually like a decent person. Sure, here, I'll just tell you what you need to know. But hey, could you actually like help me out with this thing, by the way? I actually really like that. So that's it for right now. I'll see y'all later.